Click for IB Biology. Here we're taking a look at the origin of viruses. There's a PDF, a blank PDF of this presentation down in the description, which you can download and annotate with your own notes. I've also provided a quiz so that you can test your understanding of the content, along with a prompt structure that you can use in AI to begin your own investigation into greater detail. In the end screen of this video, you will be provided with a link to the channel, to the playlist, and to other videos in the sequence. The origin of viruses, it remains a mystery, and one which will not be resolved in this particular video. So let's just take a look at what we do know about viruses and some of the ideas which have been hypothesized to explain the great diversity of viruses that we have. First of all, it's clear that, that viruses are ancient. They're very, very old, probably rating into the idea of 1.5 to 2 billion years. And the reason for that we can say this is because there are clearly viruses which have been derived from the bacterial group, from the eukarya group, and from the archaean group, and seem to be distinct in that sense. And indeed, within each of the groups that there are existing, there seem to have been multiple events in which viruses have been formed from these groups. And yet, the viruses are all obligate parasites. Now, this means that the conditions under which they operate, the environmental conditions, in the broadest sense under which they operate, are very, very similar. So similar challenges to replication, similar challenges to synthesis, and to resisting the attack of perhaps the immune system of these various three-domain groups up here. And so with these environmental conditions being similar, we might suggest that natural selection will select the selection pressures which natural selection will choose upon will cause certain groups to converge upon the same solutions. And so despite the great diversity of viruses, they do share remarkably similar processes. So perhaps what we have is multiple origins, but with convergent strategies in their evolution. Other things to consider when it comes to the origin of viruses. Notice that they all use the same genetic code, so whether they are DNA or RNA viruses, they will still be using the same A, T, G, and C, and of course with RNA viruses, the uracil bases in their genetic system. So this does tend to point to some shared ancestry, but that ancestry is probably very, very ancient. There have been, over the years, a number of possible origin attempts, hypotheses. The regressive hypothesis suggests that what happened was that a virus actually evolved from very, very small cells, and that in the process of becoming these obligate parasites, they reduced, degenerated aspects of their performance so that they could simply focus on the processes of replication and capsid synthesis. The problem with this regressive hypothesis is that there are no small cells that show any of the characteristics of viruses. And so this calls into question the regressive or degenerative hypothesis. The escape hypothesis suggests that viruses originated from genetic material within cells and that perhaps plasmids or transposomes escaped and established these viral cycles. Again, this is problematic as viruses possess mechanisms or structures or enzyme systems that is not present in either these plasmids or transposomes, and so that has also called into question the escape hypothesis. The virus first hypothesis is suggesting that within the original origins of life, there were proteins and viruses, proteins and nucleic acids, more than likely RNA, and that these combined into the viral parasitic form. This is a difficult hypothesis to explain because there appears to be no initial role for a host in that process. So at the moment, these three hypotheses have largely been relegated, although focus is much closer in the viral first hypothesis than any of the others. This is an unresolved issue in biology and will be the subject of ongoing research. The links now appearing are to the Click for Biology channel and to the playlists that you can access in support of your study of IB biology.